Hello and welcome to Kickstarter Talk live from not so sunny Florida where thunderstorms are above head. Just as a heads up for our YouTube audience, we are live on Facebook and hopefully won't lose, in case of an internet outage, any actual interference, and we'll continue to stream live on Facebook if for some reason we get cut off. Everything is preloaded. We should be able to go. So if you're watching on YouTube right now and you get cut off, just go over to Facebook, which my phone is on LTE, which should not be affected by the storm. This is Kickstarter Cheat Sheet and Kickstarter Talk Week 23, where we go over all the Kickstarters that you can help launch off the Kickstarter platform with your backing of their project. We're not doing Kickstarter last rites this week. There's really only one or two that are on it. And we're kind of trying to feel if Kickstarter, Kickstarter Last Rites, if Last Rites should still be a program we do. So we're asking you guys, the fans, if you really think we should dedicate some time, because we've expanded Kickstarter Talk to be a little bit longer of a program. And I think that if we just focus on one program, it might be a little bit better. And then if a Kickstarter needs us individually, I want to try to reach out and help the Kickstarters that need us. Because I think with Last Rites, we were helping Kickstarters that didn't necessarily need our help, and it was misplaced time because they're also being featured in this one. We always feature in both programs. So if the Kickstarter is already being made to fund, it might not need as much attention. I'm not saying we're not going to give it attention. We're always going to give it attention. I'm just saying it might not need a major amount of attention. So with that in mind, this week we're trying to only do Kickstarter Talk, your expansive program about all the Kickstarters that we know of about that are worth backing. We definitely hope that you help us out by spreading the word as we go. Also, you can join in on our chat right now. You can join the program if you want. The links are up. But let's get into the Kickstarter and let's talk less about all other stuff, and let's start talking about Kickstarters. All right. So here we are. This week we're featuring, now we feature something every week, and this week we got something really cool. We're talking about the crossover that must be told. The Untold and Angelica Reigns have a Kickstarter crossover swag event. Basically, if you back both of these amazing projects, which, by the way, you should be backing just on the merit of how great they are. Both are outstanding projects. And both are going to be outstanding franchises that stand on their own. Chris Madd is the artist on the actual Untold series. Danielle is the creator. We got a huge team behind Angelica Reigns. We're going to go over that in a minute. But if you back both of them, you're going to get this art. This is going to be art sent to you just for backing two Kickstarters. No additional fees, no nothing. It'll be shipped to you with your comic book purchase. I think the one caveat is you do have to get a physical copy to get a physical print. But I'm sure if you're getting a digital copy, you'll get a digital print. So I definitely encourage everyone to get on both of these projects, as they're two amazing projects. You should do it without that, but we're going to get into both of them, so don't worry. Support R4AU and the Autistic Jedi. What this is it's a program that we've been talking about a lot. They have an R2D2 type droid made that is named by the actual Lucas and Disney have approved the name R4AU. It's an autistic, I guess, droid, or it's a droid to spread the word of autism and explain what autism is. Because I think also understanding autism, because I don't think we're going to find a quote-unquote cure for it. I think that we can do better in understanding it. And I think that's what it is. The Autistic Jedi is a great kid. Melissa can tell you more about her and her story, and we ran her story. She's a great kid. She has autism, but half the time you wouldn't even know it. Great kid, and I think that we're in a generation where we have to kind of get used to the idea of autism, and we have to learn better, and not only how to deal with it, but to understand it. I think far too often people are so impatient with someone else's kids that they don't understand that autistic kids can't be treated always the same way. And it's our job as human beings to support other parents and understand what they might be going through. With that said, you can get a patch that actually helps support them going from different cons. I know they're going to be going to a con very shortly, actually. I don't know if I'm going to wind up making it, I was supposed to go, but I never got a press pass, and it's you know how it is this time of year. I'm still trying to see if I can make it there. They're going to be a featured guest, but it takes money to go to these shows. So by getting this this patch, you actually give them the ability to go out and show the world about autism awareness and what autism is. So by buying a patch, you're supporting spreading the word. You can get that by just going here to our list and clicking on here. This is a clickable link, as most of these are. Right now, live on this, we're going to break the list for just a second to look to see. We have 2 hours to go. Okay, so we have 2 hours. Let me just make sure that's a current time, because I might have had this open in my, okay, it's 96 minutes. That's the exact amount of time that we have. So we have some time to talk about it. But right now, this Kickstarter is ending, so we're definitely gonna lean into this a lot. This is Children of Sin. We've been talking about it a lot. Thank you for everyone who did share it. I did see people sharing it. I know it helped. It got it to the goal, so I do appreciate that, guys. You're all superstars. Speaking of superstar projects, here is a 100-page, 16 stories, a macabre, dark tales of terror in a comic book form. This is Tomb of Horror, and Kim Roberts is on this. Kim Roberts is an outstanding creator. I cannot talk any nicer about a creator. I love everything she lets me take peeks at. I wish I could talk about it more. Sometimes I get a preview I can't talk to you guys about. She's just asking for my opinion, and it's outstanding. One of those stories is in here. Super duper story. I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to spoil it. It's great. All the art, and it's great. This is a great project. It's something to back. We are asking everyone this year, are you one of us? And look at our new fantastic logo. Did some work on it, made it look even prettier than before. That's WS, but it's because we all know a Reaper can't have its picture taken. That's actually me cosplaying WS. And as most of you know, it's actually now a tattoo on my arm, which I'm going to feature now that it's fully healed on Fetish Fridays as ink, because we're going to do some ink for Fetish Fridays. And that's a bigger story and why people keep getting fetish that I might do a video for later, but that's a whole different story. Now we're talking about our One You Us. So what does our You One of Us mean? Well, last year it meant our creators part of Written Sins Network, which is all about sharing each other's work and sharing new projects and stopping the reboot culture. This year we're asking fans, we're asking the sinners, we're asking the people who read comic books, are you one of us? And what does that mean? That means you're tired of the reboot fucking culture. How many times can we see Spider-Man movie #1 rebooted? So this is about giving indie creators the platform they need to produce and get new topics, new movies, new freaking stories out there. So we don't have the same cookie cutter movies anymore. We don't have the same cookie cutter stories anymore. I love X-Men, but how many times are they going to reboot it, make a TV show and screw it up and then bring it back? We have to stop that, and we have to give time for new stories just as much as the fan favorites, because they're leaning too much on fan favorites, and that's why we constantly reboot. So Written Sins dedicating itself to trying to stop that reboot culture. So when we ask, are you one of us, we're asking you to join in the campaign against reboots. Moving on, we have from Outer Space Adventures Inside the Head of Higgs Boson Baby Interdimensional Mysteries starring weirdo freak ministers. I know it's not ministers. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. I'm just going to highlight it here. That's the word that they're going for. I'll have to have them on the show to explain that to me. This is a kind of trippy thing. I'm just going to say it. If you're stoned, this comic book probably will blow your mind. This is, I'm not saying it's a stoner book. I'm just saying the way that the art is done and the colors inside of it. I remember I watched Alice in Wonderland stoned off my ass, and that completely changed how I looked at that movie. So this is one of those books. If you're in Colorado or any of the states that's legal, of course, we're not condoning anyone to do pot where it's not legal, because that would be bad, and we don't like bad things. But this is a great story. We're going to go into it in a few minutes. We're going to dig into it a lot deeper and see what it's about. Hang out with us. The Untold is being told on Kickstarter in issue 1 and 2. It is a horrific comic series that combines psychological unrest with striking visual gore to create a truly terrifying experience. Great creative team. I can't wait to dive into this one. Chris Matt, a personal friend of mine. So is the creator, Danielle. Great guys. I couldn't be more supportive of this project. I really want to see this like set records if it can, because I think it really is a fantastic teaming in issue 2. I love these guys. They're great creators. Never forget to support our veterans. We're going to keep talking about this because it's never going to stop being relevant. We have to support our veterans. Our veterans give up a lot to ensure that we're safe at home. And we can never forget that. And it's very simple to help support veterans by going to the Veterans Wife program, where you can do things from writing a magazine article to sharing a post to joining the writing staff and even subscribing for the Veterans magazine. Look, guys, I mean, these guys do give up a lot of their time, a lot of their energy, and they leave their families to support us. It doesn't take a lot to support them. So let's do that. Let's support veterans. Tommy, what if your imaginary friend was a serial killer? And just take a look at that. Who's a fan of Operation, right? This is one of the trippiest things that I've seen. I've met the creators, fantastic guys. They were one of the first interviews. They're on our site. We're going to talk about it more in a minute. So hang in if you like twisted tales, because that's certainly one. The Threat. Now, we talked a lot about this. This looks like an awesome. We actually had the creator of this on our show last week. He was explaining it. It sounded fantastic. I really hope you guys did your work and got the word out there. We're going to see. I haven't checked in yet to see if it's raised the goal or at least gotten closer to its goal. We're going to check it out. But just as the tagline for it, in a futuristic Houston, a family of virals, genetically modified humans, fight cybernetic forces to save their city from the Antec Corp. All right, so we're going to get into that. Fantastic background. This one is new. I just added this today. I'm going to be honest. I really don't know much about it. It's the Wendell #1. Vengeance wears cargo shorts. It looks like it's a funny thing. I saved it for this program for us to get to know a little better about it. As you see, I didn't really add anything, so I wanted to see it live. Every dollar counts when we're looking at these Kickstarters, and never forget that. You might not think $1 can make a difference, but it does make a difference. You know how it makes a difference? Not only do you get them close to the fund, but more importantly, you are showing a vote of confidence publicly. Publicly, they now go up one backer, and that one backer also means that your friends list on Kickstarter, or even if you're a great person and you share that you actually supported it on Facebook, suddenly you're giving them an audience that they might not have otherwise had. So trust me, every dollar matters. As a creator, I had 5 people give me $1 for the Fetish Babies Kickstarter, and let me tell you, I was just as happy with them as I was the $50, because that meant someone believed in me. Whether they believed in the title, because I knew Fetish Babies was a little, for some people, that's not their thing, and it doesn't have to be. And I'm not going to make people read it who don't want to read it. That's not what I'm in for. I'm in for creating something people want to read. But the fact that people were willing to give me money and show they supported me, even by $1, it meant worlds to me, and it meant worlds to my entire team, and it means something. So remember, every dollar counts. Speaking of every dollar counts, spend a couple dollars, if not more, on Angelica Reigns. Check out the t-shirt editions. I mean, the way that this is being promoted is fantastic. It's from SFC Comics. It's from a bigger world. Angelica Reigns, The Faith, is a 22-issue full-color action comic about a young woman who's being haunted by an ancient religious cult. Think of think of all the press that Wonder Woman's getting and how strong female characters are important. They're just as important in indie markets. It's just as important. I have a niece, and I want her to grow up having superheroes that she can relate to. And it starts here. It starts supporting titles with women in it that are strong and powerful, and showing they're just as important. They don't need to be a big muscular guy to be a hero. And that's not a knock on big muscular guys. I like to work out like everyone else. There was one point in my life I could bench press 400 pounds, so pat on my back. That's not the point. The point is we need females to be equals, and we do that by supporting characters like this, because this is a fantastic story. And you're going to get to know more about it when we go into it in a minute. Speaking of fantastic stories, The Knight has returned to Kickstarter for issue #2. I actually did a review of this. I did it as spoiler-free as I could. It was great. I was hooked. And how you know I was hooked is I actually backed it despite having already read it. So that tells you something. This is joining the journey of the Knight as things get more complicated and complex, as he faces off a group he might not be able to beat. Even worse is the mastermind behind this new group of baddies knows more about him than he even knows about himself. Now, ain't that some shit? Now, speaking of, a little bit of a more serious tone, we were asked to support and share this, and we're more than thrilled to help out. A bad situation's happening to a family. Christy Hope is having trouble dealing with pancreatic cancer. Anyone who's had a family or known someone who has cancer or any medical issue, you understand how quickly medical costs go through the roof. This is one of those things that we put on our site because it's the right thing to do as a human being. And if you don't have money or if you're tight on money, remember, sharing something matters. Sharing something just gets it out there. And there are people who have money and who want to do things. You have to understand that they're looking for good causes, and that's great. I know I do. I know we love doing this. We love helping people. And, you know, people go through bad times. And I remember when my dad died, we had a time where we weren't sure about money. There were a lot of struggles. And I think GoFundMe's are wonderful ways to help people that you might not know and who need help. So always, always at least share something like this, because you might be giving it to someone who might have some disposable income that they could give out or want to support that. Because trust me, we're all affected by cancer. One way or the other, we all know someone who's either died, suffered from, or someone we know who's been through watching someone they care about suffer through cancer. It's a horrible thing that needs a cure, but we don't have all the cures for all of them. We're getting better with treating it, but it's still very expensive because unfortunately in America, we live in a culture where we've made medicine a profiteering thing. So help out families when you can, and help be a hero to a family if you can. And if you can't afford it and you're a little tight on funds, just hit the share button, man. Shares are free. They matter a lot. Back to the Kickstarter, we have Italiano, the graphic novel series. It is The Sopranos meets Rick and Morty in a savage and hilarious mobster thing. It's so good, apparently it's doubled on our countdown. That's how fantastic it is. Got to 16 spot twice. And then we're going to end this week talking about the list, and we're going to go into each one individually, spend some time trying to beat the awful rain that's coming outside. We're talking about Jax the Anderson, my boy, the CEO of WrittenSins.com. Jax is getting his own comic book. The idea behind the comic book is the world seen through the eyes of the son of comic book creators. How cool is that? I've always seen these kid books that always have this topic, and they're great topics, and I'm not knocking any one of them. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to have all these children books now for kids, and it's great, and I think the content should keep coming. I have never seen anyone talk about how a Comic-Con or having creators as parents can affect children, and I think that there can be a positive effect on it. I think that, you know, I'm a little bit more playful with my son because I'm still kind of a kid, and I think a lot of comic book creators, we kept that kid side of us, and I think that's where you become an artistic person and you're a very creative person, is you never let go of that little kid. You have conference calls in your head with that little kid, and you're able to talk to that little kid that you were. And that helps you be so creative, because I think a lot of adults get real serious. And I understand life's serious, don't get me wrong. You're talking to someone who's now classified as I'm not supposed to call myself crippled, disabled. I'm classified as a disabled human being. So I know life goes. If you hold on to that kid side of yourself, you're a lot more. Life wipes away that barrier. But I mean, I want to show the world through the eyes of my son, because I see him playing at Comic-Con events. I see him with his Batman toys. I see him interacting with other people. And I thought that'd be such a fantastic idea to talk about how a child could be affected by being in the world of creators and seeing behind the scenes of creators, meeting the people he's meeting. He met Scott Snyder, who Scott Snyder made Damian the character he is in the Batman thing. And because of Scott Snyder, his middle name is Damian. So my son gets to meet him, has no idea who he is, but later it'll be a great story. And as he gets older, there'll be influences. We aged Jax a little bit in the book to be able to have him fully talk, because he's still just 2 now. But he goes around through Comic-Cons. Great art from Dave Brown. I'm very excited about it. I couldn't be happier with this project. It was something I always kind of wanted to do. I wanted to do it about my dog a few years ago, Roxy. But when my son came along, I was like, I got overtaken by the idea, and I just made it happen. And Dave has been great, and we want to really get this out to you as soon as possible, believe it or not. We only started this project a month ago, and now we're going to Kickstarter on June 30th. So please join us for that. Oh. I hope you guys didn't lose that for that. An alarm went off on my phone. Sorry about that interference. But no, I mean, this is going to be great. Honestly, this is going to be a great and fun ride to do. This is a comic book that I'm just going to completely enjoy doing, and I'm not going to stress anything about it. Our goal is even going to be very, very small, and we're going to work more on the the stretch goals more than anything else, because it's really a passion project. So no matter what, I'm going to do it. So if we're going to put a goal of 500 and we only raise 500, cool. It'll be like that. But we hope a lot of you come for the journey with us on this, because I think it's going to be great. Especially, this is going to be an all ages comic book. And if it goes through, and I'm going to give it to you because you guys watching this, we have bigger plans for this. This plan goes way beyond just the Kickstarter. And because you guys are watching this video and you're cool with me, and I'm going to give you the inside feed here, we're looking to expand this into a bigger world where we're going to invite other creators to bring their children into a bigger story with a title that's really cool. And we're going to do it in the format of coloring books. So this is part one of a bigger theme that we have going. So by backing this, you're increasing the odds of us getting to that bigger goal. So, and I think it's going to be fantastic to do a coloring book. I really am excited about this project. But let's talk about other people's projects for a minute, shall we? Children of Sin. Now, we've talked a lot about this. We're going to update and see where he's at right now, because we're at 81 minutes. The last time this updated, I don't know if it's normally updating, because I'm hoping I'm not having internet issues. I know the phone is showing people still on, so I know that there are people on. I don't think we've had any messages as of yet. Let me see. Andrew just said, whoop, because of his stuff was featured, but of course it was featured because it's awesome. So far, I don't see any comments. Let's see the chat room. Nothing in the chat room yet. Okay. So just wanted to check. I think we're still online. It looks like we're still online on that. We just have a lot of rain coming above head. Children of Sin is a full-length Magnus steampunk adventure in the supernatural print. It has to do with the 7 sins. You had me at 7 sins. Brian Revell, great creator, great art on this. You don't have much time on this. I mean, honestly, if you're watching this video later today, you've missed your opportunity to back this. And I've talked about this all weekend, and I think it's a project to back. I'm happy to say that you guys did it. You guys have helped get the word out there. We went from, I think when we originally started talking about this just 3 days ago, from 500, I think we were at 1,000. So you guys are great. You made this happen. So thank you. Thank you so much, because I know that I saw people sharing it that mattered. In a time of darkness where clockwork powers the world, evil permeates society, causing great mayhem, and a man's morals are questioned. Cain, tortured by sins of his past, seeks to earn redemption by saving mankind. But can he, whom the gods no longer praise, redeem himself? The sadly different sins are taking corporeal forms in our world. Pride is an orphan who, along with his brother, got adopted by a high-class assassin. Envy is a rich girl who is shipped off to dancing school. Greed was a street merchant who became a thief to survive. Wrath worked on steel plant and made the cogs that turned the town. Lust is high-class French stripper who seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time all the time. And gluttony is a baker from the Netherlands who takes a bite out of his problem. Sloth is an ex-opium addict and just so happens to be greed's sister. And then there is depression, who has lived her whole life in a cemetery. Cain, in the last piece, sorry, it was getting loud. There's just like a thunder. I don't know if you guys heard the lightning strike, but it kind of caught me off guard. Where were we? We were a puzzle. Okay, Cain is a whole life in a cemetery. Cain, the last piece of the puzzle, runs away after betraying his students. Now that he has escaped the darkness, great hold on him. He looks to reverse all the evil that he and his followers have caused. Azrael, his mysterious butler and bodyguard, is put into service to help control the chaos, but he has an agenda of his own. Talk about a story. You guys should be backing that. I mean, they're right there. I think I sold it. So let's move on. Tomb of Terror. Remember Tales from the Crypt? This reminds me so much of Tales from the Crypt, and it has such great creators behind it. I really think that you guys are missing out if you're not on this. The reason I think you're missing out on it is because I've read, like I said, Kim Roberts' story in it. Now, if I was going to base this on solely just a single story, And the fact that I've read that story from Ken Roberts, I can tell you that this is a fantastic thing. It's worth dealing with. It's worth checking out. Definitely give it a look. It's a very engageable, enjoy horror anthology that has a wide and happy selection of stories that all sit comfortably with each other to create a very satisfying whole. It's Connor dancing with skeletons. So I mean, look, this is one of those anthologies. We always love anthologies. Anthologies bring together a great cast of creators. And speaking of great cast of creators, let's see if they actually have the list of creators. Oh, they don't do the list. That's always a distraction. If you guys are doing an anthology, make sure you list your creators. Because, I mean, Kim Roberts' name should be on this. And I think they talk about it slowly throughout the thing, but you should always make yourself a section of creators. Calb is joining us. Now, Calb, for those who don't know, if I still have internet, I'm going to go take a quick, we're going to take a detour right now because Calb showed up. And Calb's a friend. Calb's a great guy. Calb is someone that we're very excited to always be following. Yet I think I have. I think I have internet. Let's see. So far, it's slowish, but it's loading. So Calb, the reason I'm talking about it, he just reminded me that he's on here. Let's talk about this. Calb is asking for help. Design a better Kickstarter page. So right now, live on our thing, and I'll actually add this to our links today. Check out his actual Kickstarter link right now and tell him what you see. Like, this is for the issue 3. It's not gone live yet. This is an opportunity for you guys to look it over and tell Calb what you think should be added to the Kickstarter. Tell him if you want something added. Like, I mean, the one thing I like about Calb is he always gives a lot of credit to his team and his creative partner, Katrina. So, I mean, he's always showing it. We were just talking about this. Make sure you show your team. I think it's so important to show your team. I love it. Village Commons is now on Patreon as well, and there's some great content coming out of them. The video will be up on preview page in the next day or two, straight from Calb. So that's great, because we all know you can't have a Kickstarter be taken seriously in this day and age without a video. So if you're an aspiring creator who wants to go on Kickstarter, you have to make a video. It's just, that's it. Andrew, who's going to be featured in a few seconds. Andrew, we're going to talk about your comment when we're featuring your thing, because it's an interesting thing, and I gotta go over that in a minute. But we're going to just focus on this and get through this. Calb is a great creator, like I said, great guy. I mean, great stories. For those who know, Zed is a great one. I love Zed. It's a zombie and let's see, get the picture up here. It's a zombie best friend story. Let's see how he calls it. A post-apocalyptic buddy road trip zombie superhero comic series set in a world recovering from a recent outbreak. So Calb is coming to Kickstarter end of the month. Calb, if you're still on the video, I don't know if he is, because I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how much interference I'm having, because like the water is coming down pretty hard and the lightning is lighting up the sky in the middle of the day. So some pretty powerful storms going through. So if it's choppy video, I apologize, guys. I can't control that. It's Mother Nature. What are you going to do? We do show that we're still live, so I'm just going to keep going on with the show. Jack Holder asked me, hey, hope you're having a wonderful creative day. Yes, Jack, I'm having a great day. Oh, okay, Calb is, okay, so we must be still live, because Calb just told me around the 26th, so he's going to be going live right as Jack C. Anderson goes live on Kickstarter. So stay tuned. Of course, Written Sins will be covering that. We just did Tomb of Horror, and we were talking about them not doing the creator's credit page, but I mean, it's a fantastic thing. I mean, look at that. This is definitely Tales from the Crypt inspired. I missed that show, so this will definitely fill a need. And this comes out in Halloween. How awesome is that? Talk about timing. That was like when we had Fetish Babies come out on Valentine's Day. We wound up getting to announce that we were funded right on Valentine's Day. That was a great moment. We're running it through New York Comic Con this year, too. So timing is sometimes important. Here we are. Now we can talk about the comic. Comics Launch has just put out a podcast about page design. This is from Andrew, who is the creator of Galaxy Freaks. Time Songs, Freaks All Ages Science Fiction. Now, this is kind of cool. So what we're going to do is, since he's joined our program, and I could use to this video, I could use this video to help explain it better than I can. So let's take a listen and watch this video.
Hey there, Space Cadets. My name's Andrew Pawley, and I'm the creator of Galactic Freaks. And I'm here back on Kickstarter, bringing to life one of the most zaniest, colourful, far-out, all-ages comics titles in the whole indie comics universe. Galactic Freaks, Time Songs. The Galactic Freaks are a bunch of galaxy-sized weirdos getting up to hijinks. The story begins in issue 1 with the mysterious disappearance of both an intergalactic rock star and a whole bunch of star clusters. Galactic Freaks Time Songs continues with intergalactic rock star Crystal Rock in mortal peril and our favourite cosmic hero Captain Air facing his arch nemesis and twin brother, the evil Dark Despair. Now, if you're new to Galactic Freaks 5, fear not. The back issue bundle is a perfect way of catching up on the madness. The comic is finished and ready to go to the printers as soon as the campaign funds are transferred. I've successfully funded and published 9 other Galactic Freaks comics so far, so I feel confident to deliver again this time around. A whole range of pledge perks are available, from signed copies and t-shirts to 3D printed models and original artwork commissions. Don't you think Galactic Freaks sounds absolutely far out and amazing? I assure you, you won't find another title like it at all. It's what Comics Unknown describes as the Woodstock of comics. So if you see something you like, or if you feel that you'd like to join in with the freaky awesomeness, back today. Thanks for your time and shine on.
So now we understand how to explain that terminology. I love it that when creators create new words and comic books come up with new terms that I don't necessarily know. But it's also hard, especially being a dyslexic fool like I am, to even say some words sometimes. Like, you'll hear me as I'm reading sometimes. And even just trying to say it gets kind of weird. So you see a word and I don't always know how to say it. So that's why I like having the guys on the programs, because they also tell me not only how to say their names, but also, you know, kind of say these new terms that they have or characters. Sometimes it took me going to Comic-Cons to actually know how to pronounce the names of certain characters. We have a couple people asking some questions about just basic stuff about Kickstarters. One of the questions I had just got was from Messenger, and someone asked me, how do most people set their goals? And I think that's, like, honestly, it's a personal thing. And just to answer the question, because I know they're watching the video, I think they're watching anyway. When you want to set your goal, you want to be honest with what you need and never set something that you don't need, and don't try to make money off of a Kickstarter. The reason I say don't try to make money off a Kickstarter, and we talked about this the other day, is I'm not trying to say you can't make money. I'm just saying that if you start trying to make it profitable, you might get yourself in a situation where you don't hit your goal. That's all I'm saying. So set yourself up for a goal. Get what you need out of it. You know, that's always the thing. What do you need to make your project get off of Kickstarter where you can deliver? This is very important. A lot of creators hit this wall where they suddenly are having trouble coming up with money to ship things because they didn't know what their goal should be. So if you have a goal and you're making it a tight goal, you better have like $300 or $400 on the side of your own money ready to invest in the project. It's just that simple. But that was the question, just answering that. This looks really fun. Like I said, if you're stoned, this is probably great for you. I don't know if that was the intention of this, but look, I was never a big stoner. I don't like getting stoned, and I don't condone drugs where it's illegal. But if you're into pot in Colorado, this is something that you and your friends could probably have a lot of fun reading while stoned. It looks fun, and sometimes life needs more fun projects like this. Andrew, thank you for bringing it to our attention and asking us to cover it. And thank you for the cool video. That was actually fun to watch. But let's get a little darker. Let's talk about The Untold. Now, remember, if you back The Untold and Angelic or Reigns this cycle in Kickstarter, you get that cool print. We're going to talk more about that cool print in a couple minutes. But for now, let's talk about The Untold 1 and 2. And you know what? We've never watched the video on the program, so guess what we're watching? We're watching a cool video right now.
Hi, I'm Daniel Farron, writer and creator of the psychological horror comic series The Untold. Thanks for checking out our Kickstarter. We really hope you enjoy.
All right, I gave you the rainy background from outside just to make it a little more intense. Yeah, it's coming down in buckets. For those in Facebook land, I'll give you a quick look at how bad it's actually coming down. I'm gonna give a quick look. Sorry, YouTube, you guys don't get to see it. This is Florida right now. Isn't that crazy? All right, we're gonna get back to the program because they just said that there's a severe thunderstorm heading to my current location, so I expect to lose power momentarily. So we're gonna try to get a little more focus to get through it. But I'm gonna take time for The Untold. This is great. Chris Mad, personal friend, Danielle's personal friend of mine, great creators. There's a project that I'm going to be part of them with that I can't talk about it. You know, the indie curse. Tons of things going on, none of which we can talk about. But, no, I mean, these guys are great. It's a great project. I mean, they've unlocked their stretch goals. The art in it is stunning. The idea is very intriguing. After a short-lived reunion with her beloved grandpa, Alice finds herself confronted by the grotesque demon Daisy and is soon plummeted into a dark and twisted vision. In issue 2, we'll introduce the Dark Figure, who we briefly saw in issue 1, and we'll delve deeper into this world and discover what exactly he is capable of. So here are 3 pages for Untold 2 to whet your appetite. So we have the menacing figure right there. We're going to see more, and we see about the torturing of some poor person. It's kind of, I mean, that creeps me out, man. You know, someone putting that through like your head like that, gives me the chills. But I mean, if horror is your thing, this is definitely going to be up your alley. This is going to be one of those projects you're going to love. I love the art in it. I love the storytelling is so, you can tell it's intense. It's going to be an intense ride that you want to be part of, and you only have 15 days to go. So you're missing out right now. If you have not backed this project, let me tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. You're missing out, and you're going to regret not being part of this one. This is one of those projects that I could tell you're going to regret not being part of. It's going to have a bigger story, and I know it's going to keep going. So The Untold this is your point to get on. And if you don't get on now, when issue 3 rolls around, and you're having to play catch up, you're going to be left behind. I've given you the advice. Take your lead. Speaking of projects that are cool and funny, we were just talking about that with the gala Kickstarter. This one is awesome. Tommy, and you know what? We're watching some videos. Let's watch another video.
Hi guys, my name is Juan Navarro, and I'm the co-creator of Tommy by Creature Entertainment. We're here at Tattoos and Comics in Hialeah, Florida, and we're trying to bring to you guys all 3 issues of Tommy and help us get on the road and get to San Diego Comic-Con. I started this book some years ago with John Ayua. It was something that was like a passion project for us. It was something that we just kind of put together, and it just blew up from there. Since then, we've done various different conventions like New York Comic Con, C2E2, Florida SuperCon, and everybody's been well received. I finished the 3rd final issue recently, and we're trying to get it out so that we can get into a large audience, really a world stage, and get it to San Diego Comic Con. One of the things that we're doing with the conventions and with everything is get the word out, but also try to bring you guys some exclusive content and stuff that hasn't been available before, and bring you something, a story that to us is really dear and something that we really care about. Tommy's about a little boy, and he's not really understood, and he's kind of like, miscreant, kind of crazy, kind of like left to the side, and he has an imaginary friend. But he finds out that his imaginary friend's a serial killer, but not in a bad way. He's trying to like help him, grow up and become a man. We've had a lot of fun with this. We've had a lot of good times and really messed up times with it. And it's crazy how many people have received it so well. So what we're trying to do now is get something that really brings it forward, and for you guys to enjoy it as much as we had in making it. We have a lot of exclusive content for you, like original artwork from the story, exclusive covers and variant covers for a Kickstarter, including a sketchbook that will show you some behind the scenes stuff. Also on the blog, we're going to be having some behind the scenes stuff that we've never shown before. And then on top of that, we have access to the new statue model kit that I put together with Daniel Delitsky. We have prints and artwork by not only myself as one of the artists, but Kenny Calderon, Emmanuel Sotomayor, Patrick Riley, and so many other artists that have been part of the Creature team and have worked on this book. We also have a really cool exclusive. You get to come to San Diego Comic-Con with us. We have a ticket for you to come with us and join in the fun. Those are some of the things that we have right now, and it's been really great. And we really thank you guys for taking the time to look at this. If you have any questions, go below. And if you really want to, pledge, and just let me know. Thank you guys so much.
So now that's an interesting thing. Just answering another couple questions. This is actually a Kickstarter for them to get to San Diego Comic-Con. Now that's important to understand that Comic-Cons are expensive as hell, and I can't blame them. And they're offering you something. This isn't a GoFundMe. They're not asking you to pay their way. They're actually just saying, hey, if you back here, back this, back that, take this level, you're going to help us go to the show, and we're going to give you some cool shit. And this helps expand our fan base because, as you heard, they're mostly on the East Coast. The San Diego Comic-Con, while I've never been, is on my bucket list of places to go, and I do want to show up there one day. To me, New York City Comic-Con is the Mecca, but that's just me. I'm going to be spoiled because that's hometown, and I'm always going to want to be hometown. And Florida, of course, is now, because it's my home state, it's threatening this program with horrible thunderstorms, is also very dear to me, but we're expanding too, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap to expand where you guys go. So don't look at this as someone asking for something. They're selling you something. I mean, this has a San Diego Comic-Con ticket. I mean, let's take a look. I mean, I know online these things go crazy. Want to go to San Diego Comic-Con? $1,200? Let me tell you, that's cheap. That's cheap for it. Because this is also, you have to understand, you get in early, you leave late, and you get to know the madness of the Mecca Comics. I mean, this is a behind-the-scenes awesome exclusive. And I know some of you have $1,200 to donate to a show, to go to a show. I know we have some great fans on here who really want that exclusive experience. So, don't think that this Kickstarter is not serious. It's a very serious one. Don't be confused by the fact that they're being honest. And understand they're being honest what they want their funds for. And I don't think it's a bad thing to kickstart. But you have to understand, when you go to a new region, you're expanding your reach, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get it out there, and trust me, I've read their stuff. It's fantastic. It's great. It makes you think. It makes you laugh. I wouldn't say it makes you cry yet, but I'm sure they're going to get there. He said it better than I can ever say it. I just wanted to talk about the Kickstarter and about going to a con and why I think it's a great idea. Definitely support it. This is definitely something that it's in the running for next week's pick of the week, so keep that in mind. The threat. Now, the threat is struggling. As we can see, it has 22 days, and I'm going to need your guys' help. I'm going to need everyone's help who's watched this, who's seen this, who's done this, because this is a fantastic idea. It's an idea that corporations have taken over cities. And with them taking over cities, you have the problems of corporations. And on top of it, they've now caused basically mutants to become a real life thing. So there's a struggle. It's like cyberpunk out of control with corporate control, if you know what cyberpunk is. We had him on the program. The creator is fantastic. He's a great guy. It looks fantastic. I'm kind of upset that I did an interview with him, and I must have missed, like, we didn't connect with the other Kickstarters he did. I was kind of mad about it. I'm still trying to figure out how I can catch up best. I might be going right here for the $100 viral one. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, I have a wife, and I want to continue to have a wife, so sometimes I have to watch what I spend. But I mean, this is one of those Kickstarters I'm very excited about, and we're going to go ahead and watch the video. All right. I actually was getting into the song. I'll be honest with you, I was kind of headbanging there. I mean, it speaks for itself. I do want to kind of hurry the program along just because we've been on a bit, and I feel like I'm playing literally with lightning and thunder. So definitely check this out. We're going to talk about more. This is one of those things, like I said, it's in the running for being our Kickstarter pick like the other ones. So I mean, these are great projects that definitely deserve a lot of love. Wendell, let's find out what Wendell is. I don't know what Wendell is, so we're gonna find out together. Okay, so please don't leave valuables in your vehicle. Oh really? Welcome to Sparling Heights Apartments. But for one man, it's a city. His city. And it's his mission to protect all of its strange electric residents. And that requires wearing a cape and hiding in bushes and patrolling rooftop. It requires the shadows of night and talking in a gravelly voice. And it requires residents worrying about him whispering his name with a frown or a chuckle. Then so be it, because Wendell is here to save us all. So, misplaced, misguided vigilante, apparently, who's turned an apartment complex into his own personal Gotham. That looks like he gets his ass kicked a little bit too. So, I mean, it's an interesting concept. I mean, for those who live in big cities, you all know that there are real-life superheroes who dress up in costumes and patrol the streets. Now, I don't think that they go around doing vigilante stuff, or even they're legally allowed to, but they give food to the homeless, and they provide people clothing and stuff like this. This guy's taking it a little further. He's going around trying to, I guess, and they're apparently ninjas on the rooftop building H. I guess he's trying to make the world a better place, or at least his world, his city. Because let's be honest, sometimes our neighborhoods become our worlds. They become our city, because anyone who's grown up near an apartment complex or an apartment area, you understand that there is like a mini city that comes out of it. So, I mean, it's definitely interesting. I definitely think it's worth a look. And as a matter of fact, let's do a video.
Hey, hi guys. My name is C. Raymond. I'm a cartoonist and writer, and I'm working on a comic called The Window. The Window is a story of a slightly deranged guy who's convinced he's a masked crime fighter, a costume crime fighter. He's a walking, talking, bumbling. I mean, but he's not a millionaire. He doesn't have any of the money, you know. And it's all the scenarios and situations they find I really should start trying to do this. And you know, and with the Kickstarter is just to get.
Sorry about fast forwarding that, but I do think the storm above head's getting a little worse. So just trying to get through this. So, I mean, it's definitely awesome. We have 18 days to cover it. It has already made its goal. So we're going to check back in it next week, see how it's doing, and talk about it some more. But I definitely want to get to Angelica Rhymes and Night 2 before we get kicked off the air due to bad weather. Angelica Rhymes, we're definitely looking at this video. Apparently, I just lost. Mouse loves. Okay. There we go. There we go. Thunder apparently is interfering with my mouse now. And that's literally thunder if you're hearing the vibrating in the background. Okay, that was a badass theme song. Kind of cool that thunder is playing behind it. That is definitely something that I'm backing. We're going to do our weekly share segment where we show how easy it is to share on Facebook. And as we're talking, we're already done. That's how easy it is to share something. So back it for $1 because it's worth it, at least. Back it for more dollars because look at the art. Look at the story. Fantastic, right? It even gives you one of those cool pie charts that tell you where all the money's going. That's a lot of investment. I don't even do that. It's a great comic book. Great creators behind it. And I want to actually see if we have the actual the group of creators. I think it's in here. I want to get to that before we get kicked off the air. Here we go. There's Brian Hawkins. He's the writer on this one. You can actually be drawn into this. We talked about that last. Brian Hawkins is in it. I'm trying to see if I have the artist. Okay. Stories by Brian Hawkins. Great creator. Trying to get him on Spoken Sins hopefully this week. We have art by Federico Sabathian. We have colors by Chira Midera. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. And Brent Fowler is the letterer. So the team is important. Great team behind it. Brian for those. So apparently we lost power for a moment. So that's affecting Safari content. I think I was able to get it loaded. I don't know if we, hopefully, yeah, we stayed live on YouTube. There was just, I guess, a glimmer of power. So we were able to stay alive to continue this. So we're going to keep going for as long as we can. So these are the great packages that you can get. I mean, you can become a character in this, doppelganger. You become a major character in it. And it's very hard to commit to giving someone a major character role, but they're willing to do that. They're willing to make you a major character. And it's not that much to ask for. $500 to have you built into a story. I'm sorry, but that's undervalued. I personally think, because if you're talking about being a major character through issues 2 through 4, that's 3 issues where your character is going to have direct effect on the story. I mean, for Fetish Babies, we let someone be drawn onto stage for $250, and that was just a minor thing. It was like a 1 or 2. It's like 4 or 5 panels total. So I mean, that's a pretty big deal. great creators behind it. We're going to have them on Spoken Sins. This is something to share. This is something to be excited about. This is definitely something very cool that we want to see. And honestly, when I see this project, the first thing I think in my mind, like we were talking about earlier, strong female characters need to be. This is the year we need to support strong female characters and new female characters. It shouldn't just be Wonder Woman. There needs to be indie comic book characters like Delia Blast, who this is from the same creative, as a matter of fact, as Delia Blast. We need more characters like that. And I know there are a lot of people who, there was a bit of a backlash with I'm tired of women power and all that. And look, I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just going to tell you that women deserve to be equal in every way. And supporting projects like this is part of making women equal. And it only takes $1. You know what I mean? And it's not about women power versus men power. It's just about equality. And I think this is a great comic book, and I think it should be taken equally serious as other ones. And I know that people do say at times when a female character is the lead, it's harder to promote them in indie comics, and we need to change that. And it needs to change now. It's just my opinion. I'm also a brother. I'm also an uncle. And, I'm also, a husband. So I do think that women deserve to be equals. And I think supporting characters like this helps bring in that equality to women and men, because I think that it showcases that women can be just as powerful as men. So I do think it matters. And maybe it's just because I saw Wonder Woman last night, but I definitely think that, women should be shown as strong equals. So yeah, that's the best reason to back it for today. But beyond today, it's the fact that it's a fantastic project. I think it's great. I think it's complicated, and I like complicated stories. The Night 2, for those who are still on with me as the storms, I know I saw that I think my Wi-Fi went out for a second, so I don't know if people are having problems. I know my phone switched over to LTE, so it did keep up, but I think it kicked some people off. So for those who come back a little later, The Night 2, because we're still live, a new age of ancient evil, a man's quest to take on the vigilante hero, and mysterious origins. So literally you have this gigantic story. Did you hear the thunder's getting bad? You have this gigantic story with just these characters that are jumping off the page. It's only got a $600 goal. I definitely think we can make this happen. It's not asking for a lot. I think that it should easily make the goal. It's got 27 days to go. Share it, like it, spend money on it. I'm very thrilled with this project. I loved reading it. I think it's fantastic. I wish I had a little more time to talk about it, but with the weather as bad as it's getting, I am going to try to sign off before we get kicked off, because we've been on for an hour and I think I'm pushing my luck. We're going to talk more about this in the coming weeks. I have done a review of it. Check out writtensins.com for that. Please do take a moment to check this out. The goal is only $5,000. It could help a family. You could be a family's hero. It's always a great thing if you can. Remember, sharing is free. Michael Bloom did the Italianos. It pokes fun at The Sopranos, and it kind of gives a nod to that show from Adult Swim that is what's the name of that show? I don't even know. I don't watch it. It's Rick and Morty, I think, or something like that. It's not a horrible show. It's just not my kind of humor. It's basically so I have a 2-year-old in my life, so I can't really let him watch those types of shows. But it looked interesting. I'll be honest. I'll probably wind up backing it. It looks cool. I hate to rush through it, but like I said, the weather is getting really bad here, and I do think that I have to get off air now. I apologize for that, but I do want to end with my son's project, which we're actually going to see the real-life Jax here. His project comes to Kickstarter on June 30th. This is my boy Jax. Little cutie. Short-haired now, long-haired in the picture in his Rebel days. He has shorter hair now. It's great to be able to talk about and be a creator who can talk about their son and talk about how kids might be affected by comic book creators. I think it's a great project. I'd like to talk about it more and like to talk about more projects, but I am going to get off air because the weather literally is shaking. So YouTube, I'm going to sign off, and I'll stay on for a couple extra minutes with the Facebook audience, because I don't want to corrupt this for YouTube. So we're signing off on YouTube. We're going to stay live on Facebook if you want to come join us on Facebook. So check us out next week. Hopefully, I mean, it is summer, so these thunderstorms might be a constant all summer long, but hopefully it won't be so bad. This is, like I said, a string of very severe weather. So we're signing off now, and we'll talk to you all soon on the next Kickstarter Talk.